Welcome back to the EAM Crypto channel, and today is episode 4 of the DeFi weekly recap. There is a lot to cover. Don't let my sunburn fool you. I did keep in touch with the markets quite closely, and there's a lot to cover. Unfortunately, there's a rug that happened close to home that we're going to talk about, and there's a ton to look at with price action, with the charts, with news. So there is so much to go over. And then to add to that, I wanted to do something different with the DeFi weekly recap, which I still haven't named officially. I did want to talk about launches or pre-sales that are coming up in the following week. I've been talking about how a launch went the week after, and sometimes not giving you any heads up about what I'm doing with it until after the fact. So I did want to cover a couple coming up, actually 3. I thought 2 of these were going to be the next week, but it looks like it's only 1. So as far as next week goes, we have the Kyoto protocol coming up on the 30th, 3 days, 16 hours from now. This is a very robust project with a lot going on. I did a doxed interview with the team. Check it out if you haven't already, and it will really give you a very good idea of what these guys are trying to accomplish. There's a lot going on with this project. And so yeah, I'm going to be looking at that on the 30th. I'll definitely be taking part in their fair launch for sure. Also, GilderFi is doing theirs, but theirs is not going to be for 8 days, 20 hours. I thought it was next week, but it looks like they made some changes. So it looks like it's going to be on July 5th. They are coming to market with some pretty unique new cool features. Their safe exit NFT is something that you guys should definitely check out. And they just have a number of different things that they're trying to do different than some of the other protocols. So go check out their site as well. And again, theirs is going to be, their fair launch is going to be on the 5th, it looks like. And then the third one that I just kind of want to give a little shout out, even though it's not coming out for a couple more weeks, is Liquid Capital. I'm going to be doing a very detailed video on Liquid Capital in a couple days. But go check out Liquid Capital's site as well, or just wait for my video. There's so much to cover with this very robust project that I'm also definitely going to invest quite a bit in. Okay, so unfortunately we did have a rug pull close to home, and it was Hare Finance last week. Hare Finance, really liked their main guy, Josh, and I was actually going to cover them. As you can see, they follow me on Twitter. I was going to cover them very soon. I was actually going to try to cover them before I left on my trip. Wasn't able to make that happen, but we had already agreed that I was going to cover them because of the fact that I really like this project. They're doing some really cool things as far as with DCAing. Their main guy, Josh, just seemed like a stand-up guy. And my read was right about him, because he is, despite this rug pull, despite the fact that the treasury wallet was hacked, he's going back with his own money and repaying the investors, which goes to say a lot. I think it's like 53K. I may be wrong in that number, but from what I saw, it's 53K. As far as who did it, it is alleged. It's not proven. I can't prove it for sure, but it's alleged that it was one of his main devs, someone that lives in India. That guy actually posted something stating that it was not him, that he believes in karma, and that there's no way it was him. So again, it's alleged that it was his main dev. I don't know if it was this guy or not. But it certainly wasn't Josh. Obviously, he's paying all the money back out of his own pocket. And yeah, it just really sucks to see this, because this project had so much potential and was run by a good guy. But again, guys, he was doxed, KYC'd, and all that stuff. And look, I've been talking about KYCing for a while now. KYC doesn't mean anything. I think it's a waste of money. I think it's just silly. The KYC game needs to be lifted about 20 levels. So the whole KYC thing's a joke. It's just a way for someone to make money off someone, I think, more than anything. Now, as far as being doxxed, that goes a long way. It's a big deal. But this goes to show right here with Hare Finance that even if a project is doxxed, it doesn't necessarily keep you 100% safe from being rug pulled. Clearly it doesn't. So just wanted to talk about this because it is something to, again, kind of teach us a lesson and to let us know that you got to be as safe as possible. But yeah, because even the docs projects could rug pull. All right, so in the first weekly recap, we kind of compared Tomb with Grape Finance, with Wine. We looked at the FDV, and if you look at T-Share, the FDV is now at 12 million. Now, back in week one, it was at 33, and Wine was at 13, or a little bit under 13, like 12.6. And now Wine is at, let's see, 11.4, 11.5 almost. So it's about half a mil behind Tomb now, which is pretty amazing. It kind of bridged the gap by almost 20 million. That's huge. And what Grape has done is just so incredibly impressive. I had to call it out. I'm actually going to be covering them pretty soon. They have some cool things coming up, as they usually do, because they're always innovating, always creating. The team is just so strong. But I just wanted to call it the fact that without a doubt, they've been the most impressive to me of all the Tomb forks. During this complete and utter down market, it has done really well for its investors. And Grape has just been something that I'm very happy to have found. It's the first Tomb fork I ever invested in, which is pretty amazing. I guess I just got lucky that this was my way to Tomb forks. And guys, I've said this a million times. Tomb forks are just, for me, it's so much easier to make money with a Tomb fork versus a Rebase token. And just to kind of further dive on that, let's just look at US Dibs. US Dibs, I actually got in the pre-sale at $1, and it's now down to 83 cents. And I just looked at my account, and if you include what I've taken out, I'm actually up. I'm up. So it's gone down 17 cents. And yet I'm up in my investment. I invested about 4K into it. I think all in all I'm at, if you include profits that I've taken out, I think I'm a little bit over 4,300. So that's like a 7.5% return, despite the fact that it's down. And you can only do this really with Tomb forks, though. It's really hard to do that with Rebase protocols. As of now, there's some really cool things coming as that technology keeps evolving. But I just wanted to kind of, call out the fact that Tomb forks are just such a beautiful way to make money. Of course, we're going to keep investing in Rebase protocols that we like. They've been very good to us in a number of ways, but Tomb forks are just my favorite. I absolutely love them. All right, so two projects that I wanted to call out that have done some really cool things are Horde with their liquidity management system, as well as DEX Finance with their built-in stability mechanism. They have been able to do what you want to see out of these types of projects. And just looking at Horde, look how beautiful this is. This is what you want to see in these types of protocols. Look at that. Look at that consistency. And they're basically using, I guess you can say, like a bot, a mechanism, a protocol within a protocol to maintain the stability of the price. And it's really been working really well for quite some time now. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about Horde in the days to come when I talk about liquid capital. But how beautiful is this? Just look at that chart. And then if you look at what DEX is doing, which is, and again, I do own DEX. If you look at DEX, US DEX, again, it's been very stable, very easy to kind of predict so far. Look at that. That's just beautiful. So this is what you want to see. This is what you want to see. This is kind of like what I was hoping to see more out of Titan with everything that it has going on as far as revenue streams. But these guys have been able to do it, and it's been very impressive. All right, so is pay the way now? That is the question. So we got pay at $11.58, and this is quite the value spot maybe. In these markets, you never know, volatility is always crazy. But let's just look at a number of things here. So the first thing I wanted to look at is, when was it this low? And look, the last time that it was this low, it's done it twice really. It was right here, March 14th. Pretty much around the same levels, maybe $10.75, so about a 10% cut. And it did it again over here about March 7th. And it looks like it was around the same price that it was now. And both times it just went on massive crazy runs, right? From this first time it went and did about a good God, about an 8x, and then here it did, wow, no big deal, just a 20x, and looks like it was down here again, not back in May 11th, and did about a 4.5x. Oh, and look at this, what I wrote, what I had right here. Look at that, guys. The second that it kind of left that kind of channel it was in, boom, that's when it was time to for sure get out. So there's reasons why I draw these crazy lines, guys. I mean, look at that. The second right there that it went out, it was just bye-bye, she wrote, and it hasn't been at those levels since. So again, TA works with tuned forks, has been surprisingly solid. Can't count on it as much as you can with some larger assets, but I've been shocked at how much it has done as far as being able to predict more times than not. And again, TA, you're not looking at predicting bottoms and tops to the dollar or anything like that. It's just giving you percentages, right? It's like at a poker table. If you put in if you go in with ace king versus ace queen consistently, which makes you a 3-to-1 fave, you're going to make a lot more money over the long haul than if you're going in with ace queen instead of versus ace queen, right, where you're a 3-to-1 dog. So TA is the same thing. It can't predict everything. I'm not looking to predict everything, but it's just looking to put the odds in my favor. And here with pay at $11.58, it is very, very intriguing, very, very I mean, it's got my eye. It's got my eye, and I've been in and out of pay a million times. I really like the community. So yeah, just wanted to call it the fact that with pay, let's see how it goes. But $11.58 from, if we look left from what it seems historically, it's usually not a bad spot to go back in. Okay, so to end today's video, what I wanted to talk about is just give a very, very detailed example of how rotational these markets can be in DeFi. Only 1% of those that are involved in crypto are in DeFi, and we need to change that. We need more liquidity in DeFi. We need more market participants, and this is just a perfect example of why. So if we look at Titan, now keep in mind that Titan, I thought there was going to be an issue for P-Share, for Piggy Finance, for Piggy, because Golden is involved in both projects, and I felt that a lot of the money was going to rotate from Piggy Finance to Titan. So let's see. So if we look at Titan, it launched on June 1st, or it was starting to be tracked on June 1st. So let's go look for P-Share now and look to see what happened on June 1st. So P-Share, we'll look at it here on the 4-hour. If you look at it right here, June 1st, $14.11, $14.11. And after that, all you see is lower highs, right, and lower lows for the most part. I mean, we see a little bit of a double bottom here, maybe June 18th, June 22nd, and then here it looks like it's trying to form a higher low. We'll see what happens. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But pretty obvious that ever since that date, it's been pretty poor price action performance for this asset. Now, to be fair, it's been pretty poor price action for this asset for a bit now. And, you know, I mean, even way before that, we can see nothing but lower highs, time after time after time after time. So it wasn't necessarily because of Titan maybe, but from what we see, that certainly didn't help. And all I was trying to prove out there is the fact that these markets can be so incredibly rotational. And you have to keep that in mind when making investments. If you think that you have funds in a project that is in some ways affiliated to a different launch or a different project, and you feel that one community is going to go from it to the other, you got to make the moves. I mean, it looked like a lot of people were going to move their SAFU funds from Titan, and we did see that it happened somewhat. There was some SAFU influencers that were pretty vocal about it, and you can just see it in the Discord. So again, it's just another tool to put in your tool shed, another weapon to use when swing trading or investing, to just keep in mind that these kinds of things happen. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.